So, hey, remember me? Yeah, I'm the person that hasn't updated this in 8 months. Sorry, I chose the wrong word. I didn't update this. I'm not writing this, but you know what I mean. I haven't read this in 8 months. I'm sorry. But hey, here I am now making the second part, so be happy, you sons of bitches. Okay, here we go. As we make our way to the kitchen, we both suddenly freeze and gasp at the sudden sound of the house phone ringing. The unexpected sound buzzing through our ears, almost giving us a heart attack from shock. God, I hate when that happens. I give Susie a nod to tell her to continue on and grab some food as I hurry over to the phone to answer it before the caller hangs up. Reaching it just in time, I pick it up and place it on my ear, waiting for the caller's voice to speak. Name? It's your mother. We had a phone call not so long ago that you ran out of your English class. Damn Mr. Kit. Here I was thinking I got away with it, but the bastard had to go and ring my parents while they were at work. Yes, sorry, Mum. I forgot something at home. So it took you the rest of the lesson to find the thing you forgot? Name, instead of lying to your mother, just tell me that you forgot. I'm so sorry. Just tell me that you again forgot to do your essays. I couldn't help but sigh. My mother always knew when I was lying, and she always knew what the real reason was. Only this time, she was half right. Sorry, Mom, I won't lie again. I didn't do the essay. My mother sighs down the phone. Following by this was a long pause as she thinks of what to say next. Alright, Name. But you know your father and I are going to have to punish you. We told you last time that if this happened again, you weren't getting away with it. Great. Not only do I have some freaky virus on my computer, but now Mr. Kid is angry at me and I'm going to be punished by my parents. Yes, Mom. We'll discuss your punishment later when we return home. With that, my mother hangs up the phone. I do the same, placing down the receiver. I rush back to the kitchen, meeting Susie as she heats up some soup. Who was it? She asks with a smile as her eyes squint cutely shut like they always do. That was my mum. Susie's expression instantly changed to concern. She clearly knew what type of conversation we just had. You're in trouble, aren't you? Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's raining right now. So, if you can't tell. I chuckled quietly, grabbing one of the bowls she now held out in her hand. You can read me like a book, huh, Susie? She giggles with a nod. No more was said about the call, and the topic soon changed as we made our way to the sitting room. Turned on the TV to relax as we ate our soup. So, what would you like to watch? I asked as I turned my head in her direction, waiting for her reply as she thinks over my question. Every now and then, I could hear her humming. This was always something she did when deep in thought. That's how I always knew when something was on her mind. If she's humming, she's thinking about something. Whether she denies it or not, I'm not sure. You choose tonight. Tonight was our weekly night where we stay over one another's house. This week, it was my turn to host, meaning Susie was sleeping here. I just hope nothing weird happens with my PC again. I would hate to wake Susie, especially as we have school again tomorrow. I wouldn't want to make her tired. After a while of flicking through the different channels, I finally decided to watch a TV show. It was one of my favorite things to watch, and I knew Susie enjoyed watching it too. Soon enough, we grew tired after finishing our soup, so I decided to head to bed early. In order to get a fresh start tomorrow, I should have technically waited for my parents to come home so they can tell me my punishment, but they can always tell me tomorrow morning. I was just so tired. I just wanted to sleep, and I could see that Susie felt the same way. So I went upstairs and made our way to bed, getting on early night's rest. Besides, I was gonna need it having to deal with Mr. Kit tomorrow. Name. Oh, Name. A voice called out to me as I ran down the dark, cold, and empty hallway. I wanted to look back, follow the voice, but I couldn't. I knew it was a trick. This had happened before. That thing would call my name using the voice of a family member or even friend and lure me over. But I can't let it fool me. Ignore it. Name, don't run from mommy. Name, you're my best friend. Come back. Name, it's me, remember? Your father. Name. Don't listen to them. It's not really them. No. Block it out. Just keep running. I run deeper and deeper down the hallway until suddenly the beast appears from around the corner, causing me to scream and fall down onto my rear. Pushing myself back to try and get away, it stalks towards me. Its body mangled and broken, flesh missing on parts of its body, bones broken, protruding out of the skin. Every step it took, its legs dangled over its arms, crawling towards me like a spider, its bones crackling and snapping with every twist and sharp movement it made. Blood soaked its body and poured out of its mouth as it gargles and crackles demonically, gasping deeply and raspy. Nay, don't run from your mother. What happened to best friends forever, Name? Name! Each time it called to me, it took on the voice of familiars to me. No, you aren't real. You're not real. I scream in its direction as I continue to scurry back on my rear. I wanted to get up and run, but it's happened before. It slowly creeps toward me. But as soon as I turn to help myself up to run, it'll pounce. Tears streamed down my cheeks as my sobbing continued. The beast's glowing eyes locked on my body until it suddenly freezes, causing me to stop scrambling. Its head lifts jaggedly up, snapping and twitching, bones cracking with every twitch. It stared as a spine-chilling laugh erupted from the beast, getting louder and louder. You're not real! I scream as loud as I can. One last cackle leaves the throat of the monster before it scurries up the walls in a bug-like pattern, disappearing out of sight. I took the opportunity to stand on my feet and race to the nearest door, searching for an exit until I finally found one. A big double door. Hurrying over to it, pushing against it as hard as I can, but it doesn't open. No. Push against it and pull on it, but with no luck. No! I scream as I rattle the long metal door handle, trying to get it to budge, but nothing happens. Just as I was about to turn and make a run for another door, something drops down, catching my eye. Gazing down onto the floor, I see a small droplet of blood. Soon after, 3 more droplets fell in the same place, splashing a little. I begin to breathe heavier and heavier as I look back up at the door, when suddenly I heard that familiar gargling and raspy gasping. Beginning to hyperventilate, I slowly look up to the ceiling. The monster hung above me, its demonic, mangled face inches from mine. Its mouth opens wide and screeches, causing me to scream before it pounces down. Name, wake up! I'm suddenly awoken by Susie, vigorously shaking my shoulders. I pan over and over with heavy breaths as sweat dripped from my forehead. Name, you were screaming in your sleep. I look around to see my mother and my father in the room, both of them, even Susie, staring, looking worried. You had that nightmare again, didn't you, Name? My mother asked softly as she sits down in the bed next to me. When Susie slept round, she was always by the wall, and I was on the outside. As I continued to pant, but slowly gained back my breath, I nod to my mother's words as she strokes my hair, trying to calm me down and soothe me. I think we need to get in contact with that doctor again, my mother whispers to my father as she continues to calm me down. He sighs, giving her a nod of approval. My mother turns to face me, but I don't reply. I was too shaken up to answer. Wait, what? If anyone has seen Tokyo Ghoul... Oh no, damn it. I'm so sorry. Okay. Seen Tokyo Ghoul, the episode with the one-eyed owl, the evil demonic giggle laugh she does when fighting Juzo? How altered and deranged it is? Imagine that here. So if you guys actually do want to hear that, then I suggest you actually watch the anime, because Tokyo Ghoul is a really good anime. Anywho, back to the story. The sun beams through the window, laying upon my face, causing me to wake, peeling open my tired eyelids. Yawning and sitting up, I noticed Susie was no longer there, and the sky was a lot brighter than usual for this time in the morning. Standing out of bed, I make my way downstairs to see my parents preparing to leave, which was odd, as they usually leave an hour after I've left for school. Mom, where's Susie? What time is it? Both parents exchange quick glances before looking back to me. My father continues packing his briefcase, but my mother stops to talk to me. Your father and I decided you shouldn't go to school today after last night. Mom, it was only a nightmare. I interrupt her, stating a fact, but she sighs and walks over to me, resting her hand on my shoulder while the other strokes my hair. I know, Name, but you remember what happened before when this nightmare kept occurring, don't you? We don't want that to happen again, so we think it's best for you just rest for today. Susie agreed with us. I would have interrupted her again, but I trusted my friend's judgment. If she agreed with my parents' decision, then I guess I should listen to them. Nodding to my mother, she smiles and kisses my head. Just try and relax today. Watch TV, use your PC, have a snack. Try not to worry about anything. Thanks, Mom, I reply with a smile. She returns the expression and makes her way to the front door with my father. I watch as they both leave until my mother suddenly pops her head back inside the door. Oh, and you're still going to be punished later. What happened to not worrying about anything? Sighing, I wave goodbye and watch out the window. Waiting until the car was completely out of sight. Groaning, I stumble over to the center of the room and flop down onto the carpet. It had only been a few seconds, and I was already bored. I hated school, but at least it gave me something to do. I always say I would much rather be at home, but now that I actually am, it's boring as hell. As I lay there, my eyelids growing heavy as I begin to fall sleepy. They suddenly slam open when I hear a short tune sound coming from upstairs. It was my PC. It always made that noise when it's been starting up. And that could only mean one thing. The virus. I whisper cautiously as I slowly stand to my feet and make my way up to my room. Once upstairs, I carefully push open my door and glance over to my computer. The screen was on and a blank white document was open. As I make my way towards it, words started to appear. Poor Name. Can't stomach the fear of a nightmare? Even though the sentence was typed, I could tell that if it were to be spoken, it would sound really sarcastic and fake. Sitting down at my desk, I take a deep breath as I go to reply. Just ignore that, please. Okay. Sitting down at my desk, I take a deep breath, but as I go to reply, it suddenly hit me. How would a virus in my computer know about what's happening outside it? How would it know about my nightmare? Especially if it was turned off at the time. How did you know about that? You're just a virus on my computer. How could you possibly know about what's happening outside this PC? A virus? That's what you think I am? That hurts my feelings. What are you? A friend, a neighbor, a stalker, a stranger, a murderer? Or, hey, maybe I am just a virus. I freeze, too shocked to reply. I was so confused and stunned. I didn't know how to act or what to think. This must just be a simple virus, but if that were true, how could it know so much dialect to use such specific sentences such as those? And to suggest that it could be a murderer? What the fuck is going on? I want answers. Real answers. Let's play a game. I love games. This was so irritating. No matter what I said, it either wouldn't answer me or would just change the subject. But then I realized I could use its reply to my advantage. So, you want to play a game? Huh. Alright. Let's play questions and answers. One person asks a question, the other replies with yes or no. That game sounds boring, but I'll play. I'll go first. Are you real? Yes. Are you alive? Yes and no. That makes no sense. How can you be alive, but not be alive? You're breaking the rules. What? Yes or no question answers only. Groaning in anger, I couldn't help bang my hands against the table. I hated this thing. I wanted it to go away. It was probably this that caused the nightmares to start again in the first place. Fine. Are you female? No. Then are you male? Yes. I scratch my head as I stare at my screen. The thing is real, alive, yet not alive, but identifies as a male. This makes no sense. How could any of it make sense? Viruses don't have genders, viruses aren't alive, and viruses should know about rules and to know when one is being broken. What am I gonna do? Okay, I know you all see that right there. You see that? That Ben John Lemon right there? I just might read that to y'all. I just might. If I could get a lot of views and likes on this, then maybe, just maybe, a little lemon would come in hand to you. I had to think. Whatever this is, it's clearly something serious. I needed to think of questions that are important, nothing silly. If this thing really is real, I need to know. Details about it. Favorite color? Bullshit. Could you harm me? Better. Come on, brain, think. Questions. You say you are real. So, are you dangerous? Yes. My heart rate started to increase a little. Dangerous in what way? There's no way I could find out, as he will only answer with yes or no. If this thing is seriously a danger to me, I need to stop talking to it, or at least try not to piss it off. Could you harm me? Yes. Could you kill me? Yes. Panic took over as I started to sweat with nerves. Just what the fuck is this thing? If it could kill me, why hasn't it? But then again, that's not something I need to know. Stay alive for as long as possible and not let this thing kill me. Keep on, it's good side. Come on, name, you got this. Do you want to kill me? Yes. I gasped for breath. This thing actually wants to kill me. So what is all this? Is he just teasing me? Playing with me like a toy? Oh my god. I can't deal with this. I don't want to die. Are you going to kill me? There was no reply. Instead, our entire conversation deleted and my computer started to shut down. Why did that happen? Was that a no to my question? Or did he just not want to answer? Not want to answer. What the hell? Here we go, to the mastermind himself point of view. Are you going to kill me? For some reason, I didn't feel like answering the question. I told her I wanted to kill her. Though I'm not planning on killing her yet. But if I had answered no, she would have thought she was safe and in the clear. Which she isn't. I will kill her, just not yet. Wait until I grow bored of her, then I will. So rather than saying yes or no, I just stopped talking and logged her off. Leave her in the dark for a while. So, how's the torment going? I turn around to see AJ standing in the doorway, a half-eaten kidney in a clear grip seal bag. Its juices splashing around as he tilts it back and forth, his mask fixed on the bag as he perhaps watches the kidney float about, sliding from one side of the bag to the other as he tilts it. Fine, I guess. She's a little boring, though. Probably give it another few days, then kill her off. Jack nodded as he continued to tilt the bag around. Jack, don't play with your food, spoke a voice from behind him. And suddenly Sadie appeared in the doorway, along with Sally, holding onto her hand. But she soon lets go and turns to Jack with a playful smile. Jackie, can I see? She jumps playfully. Jack chuckles and crouches down, handing her the bag. Sally giggles as she squishes it in her hands, watching as it slides around, jumping out of her grip, listening to the squelching sounds. Sally, don't play with it either. Ugh, Sadie groans as she rolls her eye. But the two take no notice of her, so she shrugs up and heads over to me instead. So, how did your chase and beating with Jeff go after you called him a Joker reject? She laughs as she nudges my shoulder. Word gets around, so everyone knew Jeff beat my ass. But he always does. It was nothing new. Same as usual, a few punches, kicked, stab wounds here and there. We both chuckle, and I stand out of the desk chair, heading towards the door to leave the room. Oh, Ben, Toby's looking for you. Ugh, Sadie calls to me as I leave the room. I wave my hand to say I understand and kept going. Great. What does that freak want this time? Yeah, and you're totally not a freak yourself, you little shit. Trotting down the hallways of the mansion, searching for Toby, who was apparently looking for me, according to Sadie. Even though Sadie is fairly mature, she can be a bitch and pull just as many pranks as me. So I could be walking into a trap, or it could be genuine. As I make my way into the kitchen, I hear a stuttered voice call from behind me. It was Toby. But Ben, I've been looking for you. I spin around on my heels, sub my feet, the tip of my hat twirling around with my movement, wrapping down around my neck, so I flip it back behind me to lay against my back and shoulders with the back of my hand. Yo, ticky, Toby. Toby scoffs, rolling his eyes as he makes his way over to me, twitching as he goes. I told you not to call me that. Couldn't help but chuckle. Teasing Toby or Jeff was the highlight of my days, apart from killing, of course. Nothing can beat the feeling of that. Nothing. Whatever. Sadie said you wanted me for something? His eyes slam open as if to realize the whole reason why he had called me over. Did he forget that quick, or... Right. I need you to go into town... and you need to come with me. I couldn't help raise an eyebrow in confusion. Why did I have to go? Toby's been into town before loads of times alone and has always gotten away with passing as a normal, everyday person. So why did I have to go? Ugh, that means I have to change my outfit. Why exactly do I need to go? You know I hate wearing jeans. Toby rolls his eyes once again, seeming annoyed with me. Slender's orders. Plus, who cares if you have to change your clothes? Grow up, Ben. Childishly pouting to his words, I eventually agreed to go with him. So I headed quickly back to my room to put on everything people wear and meet him back in the kitchen. Fine, I'm ready, though I look like an idiot, I groan once I return. Toby laughs at my words, giving me a sarcastic, playful look. And what? You're saying you don't look like an idiot in that dress? It's not a dress! Toby laughs again, leaning out of the back door into the woods. Growling, I follow behind him as we make our way into town. It didn't take long to reach the high street. What was Toby's errand here anyway? Slender wouldn't usually send us out in daylight without reason. As I'm lost in thought of why we were here, I suddenly bump into something, causing me to stop. Seeing that it was Toby stood in my way, I couldn't help but slap the back of his head. What the fuck? Why'd you stop? He raises his hand and points towards the house. Following the direction of his gaze, I looks up at one of the top windows. I have to retrieve something from this house. Wait here. What was the point of me coming? He cuts me off by waving his hand and ignoring me, walking towards the house, knocking before entering. What the hell was the point of this? Obviously not a killing mission. Otherwise, why would he knock? Ugh, I couldn't help but sigh. Leaning back on the mailbox outside, I wait outside for Toby to finish whatever he was doing. As I wait, I suddenly hear a door open. Snapping my head up, I noticed the door to the house Toby was in was still closed. Huh? Turning my gaze to the house next door, I see a girl leaving her house and making her way down her driveway, heading towards my direction. As I stood watching, something suddenly clicked on my mind. I recognized her. It was the girl I had recently been tormenting and teasing online with the document. Back to my point of view. I sat on my desk chair, wondering why the virus thing never answered my question. I didn't understand. He seems so open about wanting to kill me, yet he wouldn't say if he was actually going to. This is stupid. It's just some prank, Name. I yell at myself as I stand from my desk, leaving my room, making my way downstairs. Making my way down. I needed something to take my mind off of the whole thing, though there was nothing in the house to do, and staying in the same place as an alive virus in my PC, I wanted out. So I decided to head to a nearby cafe that was just down the road. So I changed out of my pajamas, grabbed my house keys, and leave, locking the door behind me, making my way down the street. Though as I walk past my neighbors, I'm suddenly stopped by someone. He had bright blonde hair and beautiful facial features with a perfect complexion. Giving him a quick glance up and down so he wouldn't notice, and all in all, he was very attractive. "Hey, sorry to stop you, but do I know you?" he asked. His voice was sweet-toned, but sounded somewhat hyperactive. Okay, so I had to change his voice now. "Hey, sorry to stop you, but do I know you?" he asked. His voice was sweet, but sounded somewhat hyperactive. Not what I was expecting, but it was nice. Although I was so confused, I had never seen this person before in my life. Yet he claimed to recognize me. "Please don't be weird. I'm sorry, but I don't recognize you." I didn't want to come off as rude, but at the same time, when a complete stranger stops you in the middle of the street, you can't help but be cautious. The guy lets out a sigh, but soon smiles as he scratches the back of his head awkwardly. Sorry, my mistake. You just looked familiar, that's all. I'm new into town. The name's Ben. Ben Drow. I raised an eyebrow in confusion and suspicion. He cut himself off while introducing himself as if he was going to say something he didn't mean to. But not only that, if he's new into town, how would I look familiar if he's never been here before? Ben Drow? He chuckles nervously, squinting his face as he shrugs. Yeah, kind of like Crow, but, with a D. Uh-huh. I avert my eyes as an awkward silence clouds over us. Though I didn't last long, as I felt I should speed up. I felt bad for how I was acting, as to me, it seemed like I was being rude. "So, you're new to town, right? I was just gonna go to a local cafe. Would you want to come?" Understood that it was probably a bad idea to invite him, but the cafe was usually busy, with people. So he wouldn't be able to try something dodgy. Even if he wanted to, there would be too many people as witnesses. "Yeah, that'll be awesome." He smiles wide as he stands next to me, following as we make our way down the street. As we walked, we spoke about whole different things. His favorite movie genre was horror, and my favorite book genre was horror. He loves video games, especially horror. Seemed to be a common thing. He only moved here a couple of days ago, though he won't say where he moved from. Every time I asked, his face dropped as if to be sad, or as if he didn't know the answer to that himself. However, as we walk, I was still cautious, so I wanted to keep my eye on him. Every time I looked over, he wasn't staring, which was good, so that would seriously put me off. But this time when I looked, I noticed something. His ears? "Hey," I called to him as we continued down the street. "Your ears, they're pointy like an L." He finished my sentence for me. How did he know what I was going to say? Was it a common question/statement that people asked or made towards him? Or did he just have a wild guess that's what I was getting now? I nod to his word with a mumble and he chuckles, tucking his hair behind his ear to show it properly. They were long and pointy, almost looking sharp. I went through a phase of being obsessed with this game and liked how the main character had elf ears, so I got mine sewn and I can't fix them to put them back. I don't know why, but she made me feel sad as we walked when she asked about my home. I couldn't remember it. I don't really remember much after drowning and living with Slender. who my parents were, if I had any siblings, any pets. I can't remember anything. It's just like static. However, she suddenly noticed my ears, and I had to think fast. Usually my hair would cover them when in town, but that's usually when I'm not around people. This is the closest I've ever been to next to someone in the town during the day before. Sorry for the stuffy nose. I should have worn a hat. So I made up the easiest thing ever and lied. Said some crap about a game and that I copied the main character, which is a load of bullshit. The only person I know who does that is Jeff. Joker reject. I had finally finished my errand and went to leave the house to meet Ben. But once I got outside, I couldn't help groaning in agitation. He was nowhere to be seen. But Ben? I call as I look up and down the street. No! There's no sign of him. Where could he have gone? God, don't get caught in any trouble, Ben. I had made my way back to the mansion and headed towards Thunder's office. I needed to tell him my errand was successful, but also about Ben disappearing. Taking a deep breath, I knock on Thunder's door before following his order to enter. Making my way over to his desk, I stare blankly at his tall frame as he sat before me. I could feel his featureless face staring right into my soul, his tendrils flailing behind him calmly. I completed my errand. Here is the item you asked for. Holding out my hand as I gave him the wrapped item. I had no idea what was inside. I had no idea the name of it. My order was to retrieve the item, and that was it. I don't know its purpose and why Slender needs it. He usually already has or makes what he needs. Also, Ben was nowhere to be seen when I left the house. Good. He replied almost instantly. His voice was cold, deep, and menacing, enough to send chills up my spine. I'm sorry. Did you say good? Slender stands from his seat, towering over me, even more so. His height was majorly intimidating. He slowly walks over to his shelves, however, his face and head remained locked on my figure, in my direction, not taking his featureless stare off of me. But once he reached his shelf, he turned his head and looked away, placing the wrapped item into a glass box, locked securely. What is that thing? Never mind what's in the box. That is none of your business. Never mind what's in the box. That is none of your business. This dang stupid runny nose. I'm so sorry. He growls as he turns and makes his way back to his chair to sit down. I always forgot that Slender had the ability to read minds, so guarantee he heard me say that. Well, of course he did, as he replied sharply. Sir, about Ben, should I go looking for... No. Sir? That was all a part of my plan. I raised an eyebrow in confusion and slight shock. What did he mean by his plan? The entire thing was a setup. Yes, your end was real, but letting Ben go with you was a trap? Yes. But I don't understand. I recently added a name to Ben's mission list, and he has failed to complete it. Instead of he is using his mission target for his own amusement. The house I sent you to is just so happen to be that his mission target lives next door. Luckily, all went to plan, though there was a higher chance Ben still would have returned with you. 90 to 10% ratio. I watched as Slender goes into detail about his plot. It was all a setup. Slender wanted Ben to meet his target. But why? Okay, but why did you want that to happen? I need to see where Ben's commitment, trust, and life lies. If he completes his mission, then fine. But if he has instead gone soft for his target and chooses to stay with her, he will be executed. Executed? Sir, you can't be serious. Through choosing his target over us, he is breaking the rules. You know the rules and consequences of living here. If a rule is broken, death is the punishment. I was shocked. Slender was seriously suggesting the possibility that he may have to kill Ben. But you can't do that. The rules also say we're not allowed to kill another member under this roof. Slender suddenly stands out of his seat, start pushing back harshly, creating an ear-piercing sound, causing me to jump. His tall figure leans down across the table, his tendrils flailing faster than before, sharply lashing around. You dare defy me, boy? His voice was even louder and almost demonic as he spoke down at me. I could tell he was angry, not only by the tone of his voice, but by the movement of his tendrils. No, sir. He leans back to stand straight and tall. His tendrils slow their pace, but still move quicker than if he were to be able to calm. Stepping away from his desk, he slowly makes his way and stands behind me, placing his large hand on my shoulder, gripping down his fingers. Remember who it was who saved your life, Toby Rogers. I would hate for your life to take its original path. Is that what you want? I knew exactly what he meant. It was a clear threat. It was Slender who saved me from the forest fire. He brought me here and introduced me to everyone. By his threat, he was technically saying that he would create a fire, and this time, there would be no one to help me. However, I'm suddenly snapped from the thought on his grip on my shoulder tightened, grabbing my attention. I felt the sensation of blood dripping down my chest and on my shirt as his nails dig deep into the skin. I couldn't feel the pain, and he knew this, but he knew he could still cause damage. Is that what you want? He repeats his suggestion after being ignored that first time. Sighing deeply, closing my eyes, I shake my head. No, sir. His grip loosened to a light hold, though the removal of his nails now meant more blood could pour from the holes he had made. You dare to talk back and question me again? Your fate shall be the same as Ben's. Do you understand? Yes, sir. With that, Slender allowed me to leave his office and ordered me back to my room. Once I got there, I instantly locked my door and rushed over to the mirror, removing my shirt to look at my shoulder. As expected, there were 4 large holes at the front and 1 at the back. Deep within the flesh, blood spilling from them all. I had to sew them up and bandage myself, and quickly. The journey to the cafe was a lot better than I expected. It wasn't awkward, and we had a lot of things to talk about. Ben is definitely a person with good sense of humor. The way he described his friends was very funny. One apparently named Jeff, who thinks he's the reincarnation of the Joker. Another called Toby, who talks like a CD stuck on a scratch, constantly skipping lyrics or jamming up. Someone called Jack, or EJ, is currently going through an emo phase. Sadie, who apparently never shuts up, and many, many more. Well, your friends sure do sound fun, Ben. I chuckle at his remarks about his friends. He laughs back, nodding in agreement. Yeah, they sure are. Just don't let them hear you talking about them or they'll kill you. He laughs again, and I return the giggle as he makes more jokes about his friends. It's nice to hear that he's so open about it all. His friends seem nice. I was about to bring up another topic, but the cafe came into view. Its sweet-looking setup and clean hanging sign above the door welcomed us in warmly as we enter the cafe, instantly being greeted by a waitress. Hello there. I'll be your waitress for today. Is it just the 2 of you? She spoke kindly and cheery, with a strong, beautiful smile. I nod to her words, returning the happy expression. Though as soon as she turned her back, I couldn't help but sigh and look to the floor, allowing my hair to cover on my face, though I didn't want Ben or anyone else to notice my soak, so I quickly perked up. Here's your table. I'll give you a few minutes before I return to take your drink orders. With that, she gave us a quick smile before rushing off for her other duties. The table we had was a pretty booth table next to the window. I sat on one side and Ben sat opposite me on the other, though as soon as we sat down, he stared me in the eye as if to be puzzled. What was that all about? I was confused. Was he asking why the waitress was so nice? I don't see why he would. Surely she was just doing her job. I turned my head and gave him an expression of being completely lost on what he was asking. He gets the hint and shovels forward on his chair, leaning a little bit so he could whisper. Your face. When the waitress turned her back, your face dropped from happy to sad almost instantly. What was that about? So, turns out, me trying to hide my sulk didn't go down too well, and he noticed. Definitely noticed. Great. Yeah, I guess it's just, nothing. It's not important. I was just going through mood swings. Shakes his head.